Because you know why? He's a Frankenstein's monster. Ugh, he's grotesque.
He's so grotesque.
This is part of the lore now, is that we have Frankenstein monsters fighting in the U.S. Army.
Why this is always a challenge.
It's always hunting season.
And then it's always hunting season.
Morning, Eddie. Grandpa.
Man, am I excited. I bet I'll be the only kid with a real, live, honest-to-goodness Transylvanian bat.
Well, as long as we couldn't talk spot into entering, I guess we'll have to settle for this silly fly-by-night.
You big dummy.
Igor, come back!
Goodness me, what happened to him?
What happened to him? You insulted him. That's what happened to him.
Igor! Mom! There he goes!
Eddie, what's the matter?
Pop said mean things about Igor, and he ran away. I can't be the only kid in school without a pet for the fair.
Oh, don't blame your father too much. Igor's always throwing tantrums. Sometimes I think he's nothing but a spoiled bat.
Hello and welcome to another amazing episode of the Munster Hunters, the only podcast that dares to shun, boldly shuns, takes on the task of shunning millions and billions and trillions and just infinite hours of original content that's been created constantly and being released on a steady schedule since for the last 10 years or so. We shun all that to revisit a 60-year-old sitcom about a Frankenstein monster and his grotesque family. My name is Derek, and I am, of course, a Munster Hunter. And joining me this week, live in studio, is Keith.
Hey, I'm Keith. I am Shun DMC.
Shun DMC.
Yeah.
I like that.
Shun
Yeah.
DMC's got a beat to settle. He's not Hansel. He's not Gretel.
I love this when I can say something that just makes you reach
Jay's
deep
a
into your
winner,
mind.
Not a beginner. My pockets get fat while others get thinner. All right, go on, Shun DMC.
Yeah, I'm also a Munster Hunter.
Nice. And across that Frankenstein-headed table is the Dr. Dre of Kansas, who will produce a remix of what I just did. Terry.
That's right. We got Shun DMC and the Dr. Dre of Kansas. That's quite the combo right there.
It is.
But yes, I'm a Munster Hunter as well. So
How you boys doing?
Oh, I've got a bone to pick.
Bone to pick. Pick
Yep.
away.
Keith, last week you showed us something, and it has ruined me.
What?
We listened to Whatever Happened to Eddie, the Munsters remix song that he
Whatever
did.
happened to Eddie?
Okay, so the other day I wasn't feeling very well. I was like, oh, I might have to, throw up or something. So I got to, and so I was like, I don't know if you guys are like this, but when you get sick, like my mind just starts racing, trying to distract itself from anything, like trying not to think about it.
Yes.
And all I could think of in my brain while I was sitting there, like leaning against like the tub, like waiting for, hopefully not puking, but it was like, whatever happened to Eddie? That just kept running through my brain over and over and over again. And I was like trying to stop thinking about it, but I couldn't stop. And I don't think it helped the situation. So, yeah, it was a miserable existence a couple days ago.
Miserable. It sounds miserable.
Huh.
Oh, thanks a lot, Keith. You ruined Terry's life.
Yes. I think it's affected
Did you throw up?
Nope.
See,
Nope.
I did. I worked. There you go.
You're
welcome.
No, you did
Wait,
nothing.
what?
You're welcome.
You exposed us to the evil, pure evil.
I think
It's like
what's
a voodoo
wrong?
hex.
I mean, maybe we should have listened to the Little Monsters song, and that would have taken care of things. But we didn't finish that one. We just
I didn't know how
sampled
that
it.
song goes, but I guarantee it's not nearly as annoying as the other.
I think I just bottled it up inside. It's stuck in there forever now. So, yeah.
Yeah.
If I would have just thrown up, it probably would have just came out. I would never have thought about it again, but nope. Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? Every time I hear the banger theme song, the words pop in my head, including
wow.
the time when I was watching, several times when I was watching the Rob Zombie released trailer for his upcoming movie.
Yes.
Today we are talking a day after the release of the trailer.
Yep.
To say that it was released to mixed reviews is kind. What is everyone's opinions on that?
I will say it is the most talked about trailer that I've, like, for me personally, in like a long time. Like I'll watch a Marvel trailer or something, or I'll watch, some animated trailer, and I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Or I'll tell my wife about it or something. I mean, you guys messaged me. We had Phil and Zach. They messaged from some of the other stuff. They messaged us. Paul Chomo reached out to me. Dave Champa reached out to me. So many people being like, have you seen this? Have you seen this? And I'm like, wow, I've talked about the Munsters trailer more than any other trailer ever.
So that in itself is a positive. There's no such thing as bad publicity. But
that's true.
After viewing it, what do you think?
I was pretty excited about it, but it did not deliver, I guess. I don't know what. I did not like it very much at all.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, it's just something about it. It doesn't feel like it's. I don't know. Maybe it's all a spoof. Maybe it'll get better, but it feels so like choppy and like not. I don't know. Like it feels very cheaply done. There's some stuff I do like in it, but for the most part, I don't know. It's just, I think he's going too hard for like a cheesy style or something. Maybe I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it either.
For one, I think putting it in color is a mistake. I think people would actually understand the Munsters being in black and white, even in modern day. Mm-hmm. But also, I thought about it a little bit more last night, and I was like, I do kind of like finding out how Herman and Lily got together. Story. Not huge, but I like that. But especially though, if the runtime is supposed to be rumored to be like,
no. I don't take that with the largest grain of salt you can possibly find. There's no way in hell this movie is 3 hours long. So Derek, you had mentioned something in our little messages back and forth about you assuming that like we get a post credit of like a sonogram of Eddie or maybe Eddie being born something, or maybe, I don't know, they find him feral someplace. I don't know how that works. Yeah.
I think our questions on this show has always been like, how did Marilyn get involved with them? And and I think that may be more of an origin that people wanted and hoped to see, and we're kind of like, oh yeah, the Munsters, they're there and they're already together.
Yeah.
Because that's even in the show, they don't. It's not like they meet, and so they're automatically there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe this is Rob Zombie's supposed to be a huge fan. Maybe this is like the question that he's always had.
Mm-hmm.
And so he dug through a couple notebooks of his own fan fiction to come up with it. My biggest thing still is I think Herman looks very, very weird to me.
Sure.
Like beyond like not like, oh, is weird Frankenstein monster looking guy who makes things wilt. It literally looks odd to me every time I see him. Like, it doesn't look like a normal thing.
I actually really enjoy the back half of the trailer. They start playing the theme song, and it's just a compilation of short clips. Because the audio of the dialogue, the recorded audio, sounds so unfinished, it really distracts me from the rest.
So when they just hit the music and there's no dialogue going, it's just popping from thing to
it's
thing.
Just those clips. You see Herman like laughing, and he's got like the biker outfit on, and Lily's doing that weird dance, and then Herman's got the 70s pimp outfit on for some reason. Like, there's all that stuff happens like in this quick succession of cuts, and I'm like, that's pretty cool looking. Like, they're in the movie theater, and like all that stuff looks like finished elements. The other stuff at the front half that they lead with sounds terrible, and like I want to like it so much, but the audio quality is so bad. It needs to be produced. Like, an audio person needs to sit down with it, adjust the levels, put the compress it, make all the stuff, make it sound correct, right? Because it doesn't sound correct. So to me, that's my biggest issue. And because that's the first half of the trailer, it really sours you for the whole thing. And then the colors are fine. They're just oversaturated. So it feels like post-production stuff, right? Like things that you're like, okay, through a normal post-production process, this will be finished, because it feels like an iPhone video, like lots of it does, like the audio and the stuff. That's just me. I don't know.
Also, it's coming out sometime in like September. So
that's like a month.
Yeah, like, and they just said they wrapped up shooting
Filming.
like last week.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is very much like he threw something together because he was like, I maybe got to make a deadline on a trailer.
Could be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What the rush is, unless they're like, we got to be up at Halloween. But then you still gives you an extra month if you try to do that.
This should come out on Halloween. That'd make more sense. Yeah.
Is it scheduled to come out right around the same time that, like, because the original Munsters came out in September when it started, so it may be timed to come out with that.
Oh, I doubt that. I just think it's going to come out, right?
No, I think I didn't see the exact date, but I'm assuming it's probably scheduled to come out in a similar time to when,
like the anniversary or something.
Yeah,
maybe.
like the week of type thing of when the Munsters originally aired.
But why though? That doesn't make any sense to me, because it's not like a milestone anniversary.
It's the movie that Munster people have been waiting for.
Yeah, well, they can wait another 6 weeks and release it at Halloween. What difference does it make?
I don't know. Look, he's a big fan of him, so he's recreated the house. He's probably trying to match it up with that date.
I get all that. It just says September 2022.
Now, I will say one thing I did really enjoy in the trailer, and this is on the front end of it, is Grandpa Munster says, like, Lily says something about wanting to find a man, and Grandpa's like, well, I can go down the lab and whip you up one. And she chimes in with, oh, well, that's like the time that you, like, she did one of those things and where she references back to something, which seems to be a thing that the Munsters are doing a lot in these last handful of episodes we've been watching, and it made me chuckle that they did that.
And it actually showed it, as far as I could tell, which is kind of, I would say that's an improvement.
Yeah. Did we also saw Cousin Lester?
Saw Cousin Lester, and I know there's another extended family character, at least 2 of them in the trailer. I just don't know. We haven't seen those yet in the episodes.
Yeah, there's like a fish man, like Gil. But is it the creature from Black Lagoon? And then there was some other guy, but I'll admit, like, I don't want to hate on it. I'm still kind of excited. I mean, it feels like it's all been building up to this, right? But I don't know. I just hope it works out. Like, I kind of like the color stuff, and there is a couple moments in the trailer that made me laugh when Herman's like slamming the table, laughing, and Grandpa's staring at him. Like that part. That's like the best joke in the trailer, and that was actually legit funny. So maybe it'll be good. Maybe it's just a rush trailer. I don't know. I still have hopes, but man,
like, knee-jerk reaction was woof.
Okay.
Oh well. But you know what? You know what didn't give me a knee-jerk reaction of woof? It just gave me a knee-jerk reaction of stoic staring at the screen. Is season 1, episode 20 of Bats of a Feather. So, but before we can talk about Bats of a Feather, what?
The knee-jerk, that's such great praise. Yeah. The knee-jerk reaction was nothing. I just stared.
It's just staring blankly at the black play next episode question. No. Season 1, episode 20, Bats of a Feather. But before we can talk about this classic, we must first light a candle, walk down the hallway, watch out for the ghosts, the low-hanging fruit, and the licorice, I think I said last time. Open up the wrought iron gate. See, I'm got to speed it up because we talked too much about the trailer. Open up the wrought iron gate.
Slow down. I can't keep up. Jesus.
Brush away the ghosts and the cobwebs. Pull off the book. Open it up. Blow the dust up. Whoa. Down to one knee. Hold up the book so Keith can read it like a priest at the altar for the Munster Hunters Almanac factoid fact tidbit shit sheet of the week.
All right. This week we are reading from Spot's 5.
We read from Spot 2 weeks ago, Keith. Does this have to do with
hold
Spot?
on. Hold on. Wait a minute. I have multiple pages here. Let me.
Okay.
Let's go with.
You're losing track of what you're reading.
Let's go with Igor 316.
Thank you.
Igor 316.
Yeah. You know what? In watching today's the episode that we're covering today, I realized we've touched on them during episodes, but we haven't really ever talked fully about all of the pets. Part of it was just because we hadn't fully actually seen Spot. We could see him in the shadows before.
Mm-hmm.
So now I think we've kind of officially seen all of the pets out there.
Okay.
Plus, anytime Grandpa changes into anything.
Sure.
Obviously, we have Igor, Grandpa's pet Transylvanian bat, who plays a key part in this. Now, on Wikipedia, it does say his feelings are easily hurt, inducing him to fly away.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw that in the opening.
Is that his trademark?
Apparently so, yes.
Yeah.
And Grandpa
hard to work with. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's notoriously around Hollywood that he's hard to work with all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Director yells at him and he just storms off set. Yeah. Now, the other one that we still really don't get a whole lot of is Spot. Now, a lot of people think that Spot is, I guess he is a dragon to some extent, but they list him here as Eddie's pet dinosaur. And based on the torso, the shadows and stuff, he's a fire-breathing version of a stegosaurus is what they pretty much have laid him out to be.
Really?
I think that the main time we see his shadow, like especially in like the first episode, the babysitter sees it.
Yeah.
You see like some stegosaurus like spikes.
No, it's like spike
Okay.
back,
Yeah.
like a dragon would have.
Yeah, I thought
That's
it
why
was
it
like
was
Godzilla
Suki was.
fins. Yeah.
Yeah, I look. Wikipedia is the truth, man.
Well,
Apparently,
I can go on there and change it
yeah,
just to
I'm
see
changing
anything
it.
else.
Yeah.
He's not Stegosaurus. He's a Godzilla.
So there are tunnels that go from his lair to the Munsters' backyard. That probably is also why Eddie's running in and out of things as well, all the time. We haven't really seen much of him yet, but he apparently has a battle axe scar on his shoulder.
Really?
How would we know this?
I don't know.
Someone probably
that's
cranked the
bad.
contrast up.
Yeah. Oh, apparently we get to see a whole lot more of him in season 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Trying to see. Butch Pachter claimed that Spot was a recycled Tyrannosaurus model from 1 million BC. Also, that does not mean a Stegosaurus at all. But Spot was actually designed by Fred Gwynn and Al Lewis, and then assembled by some builders, probably maybe using part of that Tyrannosaurus and a couple other things. Some sources claim he was a dinosaur model from the land unknown. Spot's tail is shown in a redesigned form in the Munsters today. And in 1313 Mockingbird Lane, the Spot was shown in CGI, where he has appearance of more of a winged armed dragon.
Nice.
In the PC video game adaptation of the series,
What?
Spot is depicted as a flying dragon.
Yeah,
I think he's a
I
dragon.
watched way too much
Yeah.
time on that
Yeah.
game. Like somebody played through on it, and I watched it on YouTube.
Mhm.
It was grueling.
And then finally, the other two pets that we have: Charlie the Raven, obviously voiced by Mel Blanc, and occasionally Bob Hastings. He lives there in the cuckoo clock and just says "Nevermore."
Mm-hmm.
He makes some other little smart alecky remarks. Herman throws objects at him a lot. And then finally, they just list Kitty, a black cat that roars like a
Yay.
lion.
Yeah, that's my favorite pet. So
I like
far.
Kitty the best. Yeah.
Nothing else like big, huge, obviously a lot about Spot, who you barely get to see. The other ones get a nice paragraph. Kitty gets one line. A black cat that roars like a lion.
Well,
You
the
don't
thing
really
about
know
that,
much more.
Kitty is very what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Everything you need to know about Kitty happens on screen.
Yeah, I do not like Kitty. Boo.
What?
I don't like cats.
Oh, well, all right. I love cats, but
Yeah. Here you go, Derek.
oh,
Oh
there it
man,
goes.
the book's closed, and we move on.
Mhm.
Whew. Everybody into the dumbwaiter. And I'm gonna pull us up, up to the
Glad we
kitchen, out the
installed
kitchen,
this.
out the back door, shuffle out, open the gate, out to the dock just outside the back of the Munster Hunters compound, where we have the SCUMA ship ready to go out 3 miles deep into international waters, where Captain Terry, who has placed a dinghy and lit some flares to light the way,
Yep.
got us there. We're like, whoa, it's getting hot. We must be right above the gates of hell, which we are. Into the SCUMA,
Wow.
down deep to the depths of hell for another deep dive with SCUMA.
I gotta say, I love the speed version of this.
The speed run is impressive. I'm like trying to keep up here.
Yeah, I'm like the Micro Machines guy.
Oh man, well, I guess we better get on with it then. If we're diving to the depths of hell.
Yeah. Let's not waste any. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get there.
So yeah, you know me. Slow to descend, slow to arise. That's me.
I'm already on the shore. Let's go, Terry.
It's over. Yes. So all right. So this episode was directed by Jerry Paris. He's a new Munsters director. We haven't seen this guy before.
I'm like, that's new. The writers, it was a team, and I knew them both.
Yep. So it's always exciting when we get like a new guy, I feel like, at this point, because I just talk about the same people over and over again.
Only so many weird movies you can find for each person. Right?
Yes. I'm always crossing my fingers for the guest stars because I know I'll at least get something with them. But this is the first one he's directed. He's going to do 3 episodes. This is the first of 3. He's got 61 directing credits, going from 1964 to 2020, but that 2020 credit is kind of like a question mark because he died in 1986. I think it's like an updated episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show, an episode he directed. I think they colorized it or something, so I think that's why it happened. But he's actually more known as an actor. He's got 112 acting credits, and he played the neighbor, Jerry Helper, on the Dick Van Dyke Show. And he also directed 84 episodes of the show as well. And he's also, another big directing credit is he directed 237 episodes of Happy Days, which is almost
That's
all
a
of them.
lot.
Holy Jesus.
There's 255 episodes, so he only missed out
Almost
on a few.
all of them.
Yes.
Holy cow.
He skipped out before Fonzie jumped the shark, probably. That's what he probably said. I'm done.
He was going to direct it and he quit. It's like, I'm out of here.
That's the last straw. Let's not forget, before we dive too deep into Jerry, we are going to see him 2 more times. So, let's we got to save that gold for next time. Yeah. Maybe we'll talk about
Sweet Police Academy talk for another
Spit out
day.
that Jerry Paris gum and put it in like wax paper so it doesn't stick and chew it again later.
I always just put it underneath the console of the SCUMA as we're driving. Pull it back out when we're ready.
Don't forget
a little label next to each one.
Please do not get a fresh stick of Jerry Paris gum the next time he shows up. Let's chew that stuff that's stuck.
Yeah, it's still perfectly good. But, so this episode was written by James Allardyce and Tom Adair.
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah. We've seen these guys a few times. It's been kind of a long time, though, since we've talked about them. There's that like writer-musician combo.
Yeah,
talked about.
I remember.
So the last episode we talked about, what they wrote, was the family portrait, where they're like the most average family award. The Munsters
super
win.
inventy episode where they got to keep coming up with stuff. Yeah.
And there's that annoying guy who's like really hitting on Marilyn.
Oh, I tried blocking him out.
So
now we're even for that song now.
Oh, good. That guy haunts your dreams.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, Terry didn't make that up. Terry didn't write that episode or act in it.
Well, I didn't write the song either.
I know, but you exposed it to us.
That's true. Yeah.
The podcast exposed the other one to you, Keith.
But
anyway.
Anywho, so I was looking through some of their stuff. Tom Adair, I was looking through his composing work, and I saw that he did music for a TV movie called Babar Comes to America.
Oh, nice. The elephant.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like he just did the lyrics. But I've recognized, the elephant guy. I think I've read a few of his books as a kid. I remember one that was like a haunted castle or something. I don't know. But I tried to look up the movie to see if I could find any clips. I did find a YouTube clip of the intro, but it may have been like one of the like most unsettling things I've seen in a while. Just not like because of Babar, but like the way it was filmed. So it's like not like directly from like the VHS tape or whatever. Like he's got a camera set up on his TV, like filming it. But you see the reflection first, like it's just the reflection of the TV, and it's like all dark, but you see like shadows, and you see like a figure of a guy sitting there. And it's like, what am I looking at? And it's like you hear like the bzzz, of like the VHS like audio tape or whatever. And it's like, it got me in like the mindset of like a found footage film, or like, I don't know, like some sort of like The Ring, I guess, I'm just like, what am I about to watch here? And you can like see, the man he's faintly reflected in there. And he's just kind of watching. It feels like he's just like watching you as the screen's flickering. It looks like, like I said, it looks like a horror movie. But it was like that for the first 10 seconds, but then yeah, it was just a clip of Babar. I was worried I was about to get cursed, but nope, it was fine. Babar goes to Hollywood to make a movie, I guess. But
fair enough.
It's very meta there. It's a movie about him going to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
an
it's
elephant with a crown going to make a movie.
Yeah. Oh. Babar's like the Deadpool of elephants, so he kind of does.
He is. Thing. I've always said that. Glad someone else came up with it. Yeah, thanks, Terry.
So we got a few guest stars in this. We got Alvy Moore as Dr. Grant, Gilbert Green as Mr. Brubaker, and Barbara Baddock as Miss Guthrie.
Miss Guthrie was the teacher, right?
Yep. So Alvy Moore, he's got 155 acting credits on IMDb from 1952 to 1995. He's got a pretty big variety of like small TV and movie roles. His biggest reoccurring role was Green Acres for 142 episodes. He played Hank Kimball. I don't know who that is, but must have been a pretty good recurring character.
Oh yeah.
I was also, what really surprised me was he was actually in something I recognized and like really like. He played a voice in Nausicaa Valley of the Wind. If you guys have seen that, Studio Ghibli movie.
Oh, okay.
It's really good, yeah. And I don't know. I don't think I've seen the dub that he did. I think it was like the first dub that they ever did for it. And I don't remember if it's supposed to be good or bad. But he was in it, which I thought was cool. So he was also in Disney's most magical movie ever, The Gnome-mobile.
The Gnome-mobile?
The Gnome-mobile.
All right. I never heard of this one.
According to the trailer, it's Disney's most magical movie.
Oh, I bet it is.
It's got $1 million worth of flying gnome in it.
It is so magical, it made everyone forget.
Yes. Yeah. Mind
1967.
Mm-hmm. Nice. It's about a lumberman and his grandchildren. They find a couple of gnomes out in the wood, as you do. But apparently these gnomes are the last of their kind. It seems like the gnomes get into some hijinks, like he shoots a guy in the head with like a BB gun at some point. They're leaping around. But I'm kind of confused by the trailer because it's like they're the last of their kind, but I think they're just like the last male gnomes because they make a point that there's like hundreds of gnomettes running around like just like vibing for him or whatever. So I was like, that's interesting. It's like maybe it's like why the last man on Earth, but for gnomes.
Why the last man? Yeah,
I was thinking it was the opposite of the Smurfs, where there's only Smurfette, and that's it.
Oh, yeah, that could be.
I like why the last man better.
The main question I have about this movie is, what is the Gnome-mobile? Because it's not really clear. Is it a normal-sized car? Is it a tiny car for gnomes? I don't really know. There's people in the car singing about how the Gnome-mobile are riding around in the Gnome-mobile. But it's like, the perspective's all weird. I can't tell if it's big or small. But it seems like a great movie, so.
It's a car. Like it's a car built out of the skeletons of gnomes.
This sounds like the kind of movie
that's where all the male gnomes went, is to be built into a Gnome-mobile. Gilbert Green has 80 acting credits on IMDb from 1951 to 1982. He's done a couple things that I recognize. They're mostly one-off roles, kind of, just the stuff you'd expect that we've kind of talked about before. Star Trek, Bonanza, Bewitched, Charlie's Angels. He's kind of just in at least one-off episodes of a lot of those.
That's like all the biggest shows of like 2 decades.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he got in there, even if it was just for a couple episodes. But I got really lucky, so I think my SCUMA senses are honing, because I was just clicking. This is what I do when I go scuba diving beforehand. I just start clicking on things. I don't really know what I'm going to land on. But this was like the first thing I clicked on with him. I clicked on, he was in a movie that was directed by Earl Nostrain Bellamy.
What?
Yeah. Nice.
It's called Confessions of a Top Crime Buster.
Oh, man, sounds great.
Yeah, it's about like a scatterbrained cop, I guess, who's writing a book about all his exploits.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't find a trailer, but I found the full movie on YouTube. I was just skimming through it. It seemed like he was kind of like going through his notable cases through his book or something. I couldn't really tell. I think it's supposed to be a comedy. I couldn't really tell either. I think it's probably hilarious. I just need like the appropriate context by watching the full film.
Probably is a strong word.
Yes.
Put a lip in there.
Yeah. But yeah, I just thought that was cool. Earl, he's back, even when he's not directing the Munsters. We somehow found a way to talk about him.
Man, that no strain, man, he just kind of like slides into your DMs.
Yeah, it's like there's not a
Yes.
strainer at all. You're putting
No.
the pasta in there, just kind of
Low effort to reappear in our lives.
That's right. And the fact we all get so excited about this guy too. Yeah,
One of the best nicknames around.
it's true. So then finally we've got Barbara Babcock. She played that teacher. She's got 97 acting credits on IMDb from 1956 to 2004. I was looking at her trademarks. Sometimes these people have trademarks, sometimes they don't. Hers was often portraying rich widows or heiresses. Heiresses? Heiresses is probably how you say
huh?
that. Yeah. Also playing kind of like snooty characters, frazzled characters, nervous. She wasn't really in much that I recognize, though.
She's quite frazzled in this episode.
She is very frazzled. Yeah, she fits right in with that trademark.
Mm-hmm.
She was in a few episodes of Star Trek, though. She was also a star in a movie called Quarterback Princess, which is about a high school girl who wants to play football, but everybody's against her. I thought it was going to be, because that's kind of like a thing. Was it like the 90s or 2000s where that felt like it was a thing where like the girl had to disguise herself and like play sports or something?
Yeah, that happened a lot, it felt like.
This isn't like that.
One of the boys.
She's the man.
Yeah.
He's got a whole shelf dedicated of DVDs where girl has to play like boy to get on boy team.
Yep.
And then at the end, everyone realizes, hey, girls have value, just not on a boys team.
Yeah, and that's like so.
Got to maintain the status quo. God damn it!
That's
except
right.
Except for Kathy Ireland in Unnecessary Roughness.
She's a kicker.
Yeah.
I've never seen that movie. Go on.
But yeah, I thought it was gonna be a comedy, but it seems like it's kind of serious. There's based off a true story too, I guess. So yeah, I was like kind of subverted my expectations. I thought it was gonna be some kind of raunchy, dumb comedy, but
no. Turns out it's like the live action remake of Mulan.
Yes, it's exactly like that.
But football.
And she was also in Space Cowboy, which I have heard of but never watched. It's like Clint Eastwood. He starred in that one.
Oh, some people call me that.
I call you the Gangster of Love.
It's also Maurice for some reason. It's not my damn name.
She plays his wife, I think, in that movie. She plays a character with the same last name as him. I can only assume that she's the wife.
That movie came out, I want to say, in the last 15 years, maybe 20. So she would have been older. Yeah.
It's about like retired engineers who have to go up into space to fix a satellite, but they're all like
Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
A bunch of guys who looked old regardless of whenever the movie came out.
Yes.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood's looked that way for like
ever.
Somehow Sam Elliott's not in it.
Like rounds of a bunch of people that have looked old for like 40 years. Wilford Brimley, Tommy Lee Jones.
Yep.
Donald Sutherland, James Garner,
All old people.
James
So old.
Cromwell.
They've been old for 30 years.
Yeah. This came out in 2000.
There you go. Last
over 20 years. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, that's actually that's something I was like, wow, that's like a big movie that sounds familiar.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Hey, relatively recent as well.
Yes.
Is she still alive?
Keith, do you know? I don't know.
No, I have no idea.
All right,
Oh. Let's flip a coin.
I'm sorry. I tried not being that. I didn't want to be that
call it in
guy.
the air, Keith. I'm flipping a coin.
Ed's,
Black Book.
Oh, it's Taylor. She's dead.
Well, she was born in Kansas. That's fun. No, she's still alive according to IMDb. So.
Oh, the coin has failed us.
Sweet.
Wait. Yep. No, that's her spouse. Okay. Yeah, she's still alive, I think.
Oh, yay!
I feel better. Whew.
She's not floating in the ocean. She's up on the shore with me somewhere.
Yeah,
Whoa,
Barbara
nice.
Babcock. Yep, she's still alive.
Yeah.
So good for her. That's always nice.
Way to go, Babs.
Yeah. Give her the old salute. Way to go.
The Munster Hunters salute.
Keep on trekking. That's what I say. So. Let's go medium pace up this time since we're kind of rushing. I don't want to.
Derek's already.
I'm in the kitchen back at the Munster Hunters compound making up sandwiches for all of us.
Oh.
Turkey. I hope you like it. Freshly cut from the deli. It's boar's head.
Wait. Boar's head. Boar's head sandwiches?
No, lunch meat. Boar's head. I'm making up sandwiches.
Yeah,
I've been.
I'm guessing they don't have that in Kansas.
No, I guess
I
not.
don't know what the hell.
No.
It's a well-known lunch meat from the delicatessen.
It doesn't make it to the geographical center of
No.
Yeah, the
of
geographical
United
center.
States.
That's a black hole for lunch meat
That's
in
right.
Kansas.
All we've got is
Carl Buddig.
Oh God! Oh, I'd say a lot of bad flashbacks there. Oh,
Yep. I know nothing of this, but
ate
it
a lot
sounds
of that
delicious.
as a kid. Ugh.
Anyway, I got some turkey sandwiches for everybody. Enjoy. Hope you like lots of Miracle Whip.
Ugh.
It's got that zip, man. And I slather it on thick.
Yep, with one slice of turkey.
One slice of turkey, 6 slices thick cut of tomato, some wilted lettuce, and lots of Miracle Whip. And I hope you like American cheese.
I hope the lettuce is a little like damp and soggy, not really
Oh
that
God,
crunchy.
yeah, all the bread's wet.
Yes.
Just so you
We're
know.
gonna-
Just the
we're
way
gonna-
we like it here in Munster Hunter Town.
Keith, I think we need to get hire a chef. You know, Derek, I'd appreciate his help, but let's
Hey.
Hold on.
I
Derek
make-
just opened up Munster Hunter Town as well, so we already have the
sandwich.
we already have the very large compound that we have a dock and everything for, and
No, coastal too.
coastal. So I'm interested to find out more about Munster Hunter Town as we go
yeah.
on.
We do. It's just growing. Yeah. How many tourists are we gonna get?
Dozens.
Yeah.
All right. So we are here, season 1, episode 20. Now, if this were one of these modern shows that are created, we'd be on season 2 already, possibly season 3 with 20 episodes. And if we were like a network television, we'd be like, we're getting close to the end of season 1. Not us.
Yeah.
We're
No,
barely
no.
halfway through season 1 of the Munsters. This
I like
one's
my-
called what?
I like my shows to really milk the like premise and like explore it fully before they move on to the next season. Like I really want them. The more episodes, the better. That's what I say.
Yeah. My motto was linger like a motherfucker, man, because that's what we're doing. We are just
Man,
dilly-dallying.
You signed that in my high school yearbook.
I did. We are like moonwalking to the finish line with this. It's slow, but it's glorious.
That's right. Yeah. Never feels like we're getting any closer, but I'm okay with it.
Yep. Season 1, episode 20, Bats of a Feather. This sumbitch came out February 3rd, 1965. According to TV Guide, it says, Eddie has to take a pet to school for a contest. Sums it up right there. Gets a 7.6 lofty, maybe? I don't know. Out of 10 on IMDb.
Yep.
And it opens like so many others. Herman's not grunting, but him and Lily are sitting on the couch arguing about which pet Eddie should take to school. Lily doesn't like the idea of Spot because he doesn't do anything besides chase trains. So they're
Yeah.
going to leave it up to Grandpa.
I will say it is an argument over it, but it's not as mean spirited as some of the most recent episodes.
I think they dig in a little bit later on.
Oh yeah, Grandpa gets real mean to Spot.
Yes. They all get mean to Herman as well.
Yep.
But
As
they
they
leave it up
do.
to Grandpa. And Grandpa's like, well, that's a dumb question. He looks up calmly from his book.
Oh, yeah.
The book was called?
How to make friends in your basement lab.
Yes, it was. So Grandpa looks up from his book and says, there's no question about it. Like, he's dead. Dead tone. There's no question about it. It's Igor, right?
Yeah.
Spot's no good. It's Igor. And Igor is clearly the smartest of all the animals. He hangs from the rafters, and he gets the paper. But Herman, he's all in on Spot, of course. Lily, she's all in on the cat. Cut to the staircase. They're all there now. Herman, Lily, Grandpa, Marilyn, Eddie. Spot has been hiding under the stairs because he doesn't want to do this. He doesn't want to go to the school fair, this pet fair at the school. Which
He's
is
a dragon. He doesn't want to be at some dog and pony show.
I've never heard of a pet fair. I don't know if there was a thing in the 60s
Yeah.
or if it was something conjured up by this writing team because hell, this writing team loves to just manufacture stuff to move plot along.
It's show and tell, but with pets, basically, is what it seems like.
I guess, but there's judging involved. Anyway,
Oh, true. Yeah.
They're all there, and everyone is yelling at Herman because Spot is in the stairs. Like, you're the pet whisperer, you big green shit. So Herman, he's going to coax Spot out from under the stairs. The stairs lift, and there is a static creation of some sort.
Yes.
Has teeth, has maybe some eyes. And you're like,
Glowing. Yeah.
There's Spot. He's not even doesn't even like an idle animation. He doesn't breathe. He's just static. He's teeth glued to a thing. Just
I was pumped though. I mean, we haven't seen Spot like this before.
I agree.
Awesome.
I was like, this is pretty cool. This is how I remember Spot.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. This is my memory of Spot, is them always opening up the stairs, and him being there. I swear they used that in the intro at some point in time.
I thought they did it too. The stairs lift. There's growling. There's teeth. Herman's like trying to coax him out, and he goes, "Come on, poopsie." I'm like, well, that's funny.
He's
and
like,
then Spot breathes fire, which immediately tells you it's not a stegosaurus. Stegosauruses don't breathe fire.
No,
that's true.
It's a dragon.
Yep, everybody knows that. Yeah,
100%. And Herman also said he's clearly the smartest because the rest of his species is extinct.
Yes. So they have the last dragon. That's like, that's gonna violate some sort of like animal like code, right? Like you're supposed to like have that in a more secure environment, protected.
Guarding some gold or something.
Yes.
It's smoke. It speaks like Benedict Cumberbatch. Looks like Godzilla in a shadow and breathes fire at Herman.
I was really hoping that we would read out of the book of Poopsie today in the Almanac.
Yeah, Keith, you blew that.
Sorry, my bad.
So Eddie is upset because he's got to take a pet, and Lily assures him that if we leave Spot alone, eventually he'll get hungry and come out looking for someone. Cut to the banger that's ruined by whatever happened to Eddie.
Oh, it's such a shame.
It is. I cannot not sing along with those words, and it's very upsetting.
I'll be like, I'll catch myself like singing like whatever happened to Eddie.
I do
while
too.
I'm working, and I get mad at myself. I'm like, stop,
Me too.
just stop.
So here's the thing, Keith, and here's what you killed for me. No matter how good or bad the Munsters is, individual episodes vary. I always had the banger, and I wrote banger every time in my notes. Now it's painful reminder of Butch Patrick's pop music aspirations of 1983.
I mean, look, we have 50 some episodes still to go. You'll forget about it eventually.
It'll fade away.
I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
We do this shit once a week, and it's just constant reminder.
Oh yeah.
I would say if our next episode was 3 years later, maybe I'd forget, but I doubt it.
I feel like every time I'd hear that though, it would just spark the memories would just flood back. It's
exactly.
like because music is like that can like activate your memory synapses or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, it takes you back to times. Like I listened to this as a kid, but now I'm gonna always remember. Oh, this is the time I listened to the Eddie song that ruined everything.
Every time I hear that song, it's like in Ratatouille when Remy bites into a grape and it's just an explosion of flavor, and all I can hear is "Whatever happened to Eddie? He's the
kid
boy
from Mockingbird Lane."
All I see is the zombies swaying back and forth in their seats.
And all those people coming in and sitting in a chair and dancing in their chair. Ugh. Anyway, we come back from the banger, and they're still arguing about Spot. Like, we have not progressed the plot any. Grandpa's like, well, Herman, you can't get Spot to do shit. And Lily's like, well, let's take the cat. Eddie says the cat's plain. The cat growls, does not like getting called plain. Grandpa really leans in on the Igor thing. And And Herman's like, fine. He has arguments for Spot, but Grandpa's like, Igor.
He says the bat is the most beautiful thing that flies.
Yes.
He loves Igor.
But then
I was
Lily
like,
goes, you think that's bad? Remember the time you took him duck hunting? He tried to fly south with a flock of mallards. 6 weeks later, he came walking back with wings full of buckshot.
Oh, I'd love to see Igor just walking on 2 feet
Yeah.
back to the.
Hey, I'm flying here, and he's flying and like buckshot coming.
I hope that's what Igor sounds like in bad. Like he's got like a New
he's
York
a little
accent.
bit of dice. So we come back.
I can see it. You know, he's very temperamental. You know, he's like, "Hey, what you saying? I'm small."
Hey, I'm not dumb. I'm out of here.
Tilts his head to the side, like, you know, puts a whole wing over it to like smoke a cigarette.
Yep.
Oh
Yep, exactly. So Grandpa and Eddie cut to Grandpa and Eddie in the basement with Igor. And then this is what we saw. Herman comes down. This we listened to at the opening. Herman insults the bat. The bat says, "Fuck y'all, I'm out." And slowly gets away.
That is a much different Igor than we have seen in the previous episodes.
Oh, he's huge.
Yeah,
like he's grown quite a bit.
Yeah. Igor used to be like a bat on a string flopping around. Now he's like this big mechanical thing that's like very slowly flapping.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a door creaking when he flies around.
Yes.
Squeak, 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 squeak.
But he's huge. You're right, Keith. Good call. He is monstrous. So now, and like we heard now, Eddie's worried he'll be the only kid without and can't blame Herman. He's just an idiot. Eddie can't go to school today. All the kids are going to make fun of him. 2 episodes in a row. Herman, very upset. He's so ashamed of himself. He let his son down.
Mm-hmm.
And Grandpa goes, "You know, Herman, there's a lot of ham in you." And I love this next line because it is a lob and a slam dunk. But he's like, "Don't blame me. They used whatever was available." So
it was Boar's Head.
Boar's Head. Yes. Like they're like, "Well, we need to finish making this monster thing." Well, I got an open Black Forest ham. I was going to shave her later on.
That line makes up for Lily's. He's just a spoiled bat.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the spoiled bat line, lame.
I like the idea of Herman. So,
Herman's
tastes kind of good.
Meat.
Is he made of lunch meat?
He just gets hungry and he reaches down and bites off a chunk of the side.
We see him eating sandwiches sometimes. Maybe he just kind of like gets a knife, just slices off a few chunks, and there you go.
The Munsters are very all about eating. Every episode, I don't know if there's an episode where they haven't been at either the breakfast, the dinner table, or we'll see a future eating in this episode.
Also, Derek, I will say, you mentioned, so this is 2 weeks in a row then that Eddie's been made fun of. So is that like we had Grandpa trying to make inventions, a couple of episodes of Grandpa running away in a row? Is this like the current string of things? Is Eddie gets made fun of? Is that...
it's like Eddie's on summer break for school and they're filming or winter break or something.
Yeah. But everything is revolving around he's going to get picked on if he...
Yep, let's get all the... And, well, what do kids do? Hell if I know. They get picked on. All right.
Oh, well, plus in the Martian one also, those kids are like, man, whatever, your house isn't as cool as you keep saying it is. And he's like, that Eddie's really weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Herman's really upset, ashamed of himself, lets him down, made a ham, yada, yada, yada. Grandpa has a plan, as he always does. He's going to turn into a bat. And he tells us the plan as opposed to like, we have to wait and find out. Grandpa's going to turn into a bat and go to school with Eddie. Herman, pleased with the plan. He even calls Grandpa the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
Herman is usually the level-headed, I don't know about this Grandpa, but he's on board.
He's very happy.
Yeah,
he's on board.
He's very, very, I think at some point he's like, you're the best or something like that.
He calls him the greatest, yeah. So Lily tells the Grandpa bat, next scene, in a cage, that she's very touched. See, Lily, she can't get over it. Herman's all on board. If Marilyn knew, who's usually a skeptic, she'd probably be like rah-rah-rahing it as well. Eddie comes and gets the cage, and he's very excited. Herman tells him to be careful. He isn't as young as he used to be. And he's like, I'll win for smartest pet. Herman's like, well, he isn't as intelligent as he used to be either. So Herman with the dig where Grandpa can't respond. I like that. But there's lots of squeaking going on. So Grandpa, unlike when he turns, when he turned into a wolf and couldn't turn back, he could still communicate.
Yeah, they could understand him. Yeah, because they had like a full-blown conversation.
Yeah. Anyway, They cover up the cage and send Eddie on his way. Where's Grandpa? Oh, he's hung up in an experiment, but he'll be there with you in spirit the whole day. Eddie leaves. Herman says if Grandpa wins, there will be no living with him. If he beats those rabbits and gerbils, there'll be no living with him.
I like that line too. So that's true. Grandpa would rub it on their faces.
He'd be strutting his stuff like he just made 2 consecutive shots in pool.
God damn it.
That's the only inside joke I'll tell, and everyone will know what it is if they listen at least one time.
Man, I recently played some pool with my kids, and I made 2 shots in a row. And I really had to like make sure I stopped and did not do that.
Cut 2. That's funny. Like even with your kids, you couldn't help doing the Ric Flair strut around the table. Woo!
No,
I made 2 shots.
I didn't do it. It was almost like just a natural reaction. And I was like, wait a minute, 10-year-old, I can't do that.
Heath, I can picture it in my head.
Yep.
We're at the Mockingbird Heights Elementary School pet fair. They're all excited about this bat, but there's a goddamn monkey. There's a skunk. There's gerbils, parrots. There's a squirrel.
Yep. This seems like a disaster.
Sorts of animals.
This is a disaster. Do not bring all these pests to school. Like, this is going to go horribly wrong.
You know it is. If they get loose, we got like some sort of crazy kids movie going on.
Oh, man. It's a good thing Spot didn't go. That was a buffet.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Spot would just eat everything. Even the kids probably. So when I saw the monkey, I'm like, Jesus Christ, no way a bat wins. Monkeys are infinitely smarter than bats. So Mr. Hazlitt, who I assume is a principal, is going to have a hard time choosing a winner. That's for sure, because there's a goddamn monkey and a skunk. Skunk is cool as hell. Right? Yeah. So Eddie takes the cover off his cages. Like, he's the only one that still has a cover on his cage. Like, wait till you see my pet. Big unveiling, big fake looking bat. All the other animals, very real.
Yep.
Including the monkey.
Monkey, real skunk, real squirrels, real everything.
So did he have the cover on because there's no actual like top to the cage? Like it's not a fully complete cage
that could
like
be
everyone
it
else?
Too.
I don't think there was a top to it.
No, there wasn't.
No.
So Eddie takes the cover off and the kids, they're impressed. What's it eat? Blah, blah, blah. Teacher, very not much. She plays a frazzled character.
She does. Yep.
She's like, cover that thing back up. But Eddie wants to show off Igor's trick. And the principal's like, trick? What do you mean trick? He'll fly around the room twice and return to the cage on command. There was like, ooh. So the bat flies up and around the room over and over and over and over and over.
More than twice.
More than twice, definitely. My favorite part of this, the kids are screaming and laughing. But did you notice the teacher? She's like covering her neck the whole time.
Yes. She's so scared of this bat, and I would be the same. Yeah.
She was like pulling up her collar. Like, this is obviously Dracula.
Yeah, this is Dracula. He's probably like, maybe like trying to mesmerize her or something. I don't know.
Doesn't Eddie like when he gets home there, doesn't he say something like, Igor was going after her or something? Like he actually mentions that going on, but yeah, she was not having it.
She was not having it. Not pleased.
And don't they mention that like he like somebody asked him about like does he go and hunt like rats, and he's like, oh, only if he wants to dance with them.
Yes.
Yeah. What the hell is that?
I'm like, I don't understand. Yeah, I didn't write it down because it like way over my head.
I don't understand what that means, but I like the image.
Probably a very 60s reference. Cut 2. Lily and Herman on the couch. Lily is sure Eddie is proud of his pet. She's still talking about it like 8 hours later. I bet you Eddie's so proud of his pet. And she thinks Grandpa is doing things that Igor wouldn't even think of. Clearly. Herman is pleased with the Grandpa, proud of his bravery, because he wouldn't want to go out in public looking grotesque. And he said grotesque, and I was so pleased.
That made me happy. Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, Igor wouldn't have thought about trying to bite the teacher's neck.
Yeah. Nope. But Grandpa went out there, and Herman's like, I wouldn't want to go out in public looking so grotesque. The grotesque, that the word itself is just like melts my heart.
That's a good
Herman.
movie.
It now makes your intro basically canon.
It is.
also. Yeah.
They're grotesque. Herman is worried Grandpa is giving Eddie a false sense of values, which I thought was where the story was going to go. He's like, he's giving a false sense of values by catering to his every whim. Instead, it's a throwaway line. Eddie runs in excitedly. Eddie says, how would you like to see the prize winner for the most intelligent pet at Mockingbird Heights Elementary? Still covered. And they're like, Grandpa, you son of a bitch, you did it. He uncovers the cage and it's a squirrel.
So the squirrel got the prize
Yes.
for most intelligent.
Yeah.
There was a monkey. There were parrots. Parrots can say hundreds of words and converse with man.
There was a trained bat.
There was a trained bat. The squirrel, everyday, modern backyard squirrel.
Yep.
Right?
It also looked much larger than when they said, "Oh, that's an interesting squirrel." When they walked by it the first
Yes.
time, and it almost looked like it was dead.
Look at that squirrel. Maybe it was one of the squirrels from the Willy Wonka remake.
Oh, that like cracks all the nuts or whatever.
Yeah.
I said that to goad Keith into talking about Willy Wonka, but he's not taking that bait.
Yeah, the shit movie. No, we're not talking about that.
So
Tim Burton
Lily
brings a pretty good flair to
scolds
that. But, yeah.
what's that?
No, I was just gonna say Tim Burton really brings a great flair to the movie, but that's all right.
Yeah, I don't hate
Fuck.
that movie at all.
Oh, fuck off.
So Lily scolds the squirrel. Father, what have you done now? And they're like, well, where's Igor? Oh, I traded him off to Timmy Brubaker for the squirrel. They're like, okay. Herman looks kind of upset. Lily yells at Eddie, you naughty, naughty boy. You traded your grandfather for a squirrel. And then if they would have gone credits, I would have been like, great episode. Instead, we just get a commercial break.
Now, first of all, though, like at first, does she think that Grandpa changed into a squirrel at some point in time? Like,
Yes.
yeah,
And so would he have traded Igor? Like,
Yes.
yeah. He thought he was trading Igor. He doesn't know it's Grandpa until she yells at him.
that's
like a
where
10-year-old,
Igor stands. Come on,
They
no
do
wonder
whatever
he
they
left.
want, man.
Yeah.
But it's
We
only
come
for the
back-
weekend. It's only for the weekend.
Well, yeah, we don't know that yet, though. We come back from the commercial. We're like, well, Grandpa's gone forever.
Mhm,
Lily
he ran
is
away.
really upset again. Yeah, Marilyn's trying to console her. Eddie didn't know he didn't know it was Grandpa, but it was only a trade for the weekend. Eddie's very excited how Grandpa went flying after his teacher, though. He's like, vroom, vroom.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah, that was strange. Now Herman, level head, comes in. Figures he'll just change back into Grandpa and walk home. But Lily's like, there's no room in that small cage. Lily is literally inconsolable. She is just torn up. Now this can't be the first time in 100+ years where Grandpa has done something dumb. Because we're on episode 20 and he's done something dumb 19 previous times.
Yeah,
There's no
he's been
way she's
captured.
inconsolable.
He's been captured in an animal state before. We've seen
Yes,
it.
3 episodes prior.
Sometimes he can't remember how to change back. Other times the cage is too small.
Yes. She says, I didn't live all these years to be the daughter of a squirrel.
I like that.
That's
weird,
the line.
That is kind of funny.
She's already established that.
It's not her dad.
Yes,
So-
it's not her dad. She's upset that he traded. She knows it's like. So is the squirrel just
Well,
gonna
The squirrel is a
It's
useless.
a trade. Yeah.
he's gonna replace.
The squirrel's taking over. It's like, well,
Yep.
fuck
Fair's
y'all.
fair.
I'm here now. I'm
Yeah.
Grandpa.
It's a trade. I mean, he gets to take
Yep.
all the responsibilities that Grandpa had. He's got all the roles he's got to have.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just how it is. Yeah, that's like,
Yep.
sorry, guys.
You're my new dad.
Oh my god.
Marilyn is concerned if the brew breakers feed Grandpa peanuts and popcorn because it gives him heartburn. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Herman's like, well, listen, Eddie, just call him and tell him the deal's off and get Grandpa back. And he's like, yeah, sure, Pop. Lily wants Herman to do the call, but Herman's like, nope, this will be a good opportunity for Eddie to show self-reliance.
Sure.
Eddie, on the coffin phone, talking to Mrs. Brubaker. You remember me? I only been there once. It's like, yeah.
Oh, you do remember me? I thought that was
Crazy
kind of funny.
pointy-eared freak.
Yeah, there was another line in the school when but the principal comes in and he's like, "What is that?" And Eddie's like, "Oh, it's just me, mister."
Yeah.
And there's a couple lines like that where it's like Eddie's like, "Yeah, oh yeah, it's me. You might not remember." And it's like, "Yeah, you're a weird looking guy."
Yes. So Eddie's trying to negotiate with Mrs. Brubaker to get the bat back. Now, he's like, "It's my grandfather," and then Herman's like, "Don't say that." I can't remember.
They'll raise the
why
price.
They'll jack up the
oh
price.
yeah, they'll try to jack up the price. Not that it's weird, but that they'll like, oh, they'll double the price. It's like,
two squirrels. You need 2 squirrels now.
It's my grandmother's favorite. But the Brubakers, as one would do with property that isn't their own, sold the bat.
Yes.
What a crazy twist invention to make this plot go forward. They sold the bat.
How mean?
Well, no. Only the kid sold the bat.
Yes,
He sold the bat to his father for
But it's to his
65
dad.
cents.
He sold the bat to his dad for 65 cents.
Yeah. I want to know how that negotiation started.
And then
$1.50.
Yeah, exactly. And then Eddie's like, well, he took the bat with him down to work. Mr. Brubaker works at a laboratory. And I'm like, well, that's what Grandpa loves. It's a top secret rocket laboratory in Washington, D.C. So this dude lives on the West Coast, works on the East Coast.
Yep.
Swindled his kid out of a bat because he couldn't find one, and the kid sold property that wasn't his. This Brubaker family sucks.
Also, Eddie just got home from school. So the other kid got home, sold it to his dad. His dad took it and left to go to
instantly.
DC within like an hour.
Yes. The dad's like, that's a fine looking bat. I'll give you 65 cents. The kid's like, okay. And then the dad's like, I'm out. Peace. See you all later.
Yeah.
I'm off to the airport.
I mean, we get into this a little bit more, but man, LAX seems to be a very nice airport to go out of. It's very easy to get through.
Well, it's
Yeah.
60s.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want back then. You want to fly with a bazooka? Knock yourself out. So, like, this whole thing is, man, such a strong invention to make the plot. Like, you could have had so much fun with that bat in the Brubaker's house.
Yes.
Right? Just fucking shit up. Grandpa appearing, then turning back into a bat, and appearing and turning. Like, all sorts of crazy antics could have happened. But instead, he flies the bat to Washington, D.C.
Well, and again, that's the big, like, couldn't they have just taken him to, like, some sort of like a lab there on the West Coast? Like,
there's got to be labs there.
That it'd be easy to go to as opposed to like, oh, we got to travel everywhere.
But then you wouldn't got a real banger joke coming up.
Oh, that's true, because we get a airplane scene. Yeah.
So now we cut to a restricted area, U.S. government space laboratory, authorized personnel only. There's a cage with the monkey, Chico. Orbital flights 2, recoveries 2. Empty cage, Pinky. Orbital flights 3, recoveries 2. Laughter. Oh, animals died. Hilarious.
Yeah, kind of ominous. Grandpa, he's in danger.
So, dude walks in with a bat in a cage. That's Mr. Brubaker. New customer for our travel agency. Just in time, too. And then the dude gloats about buying it from his son for 65 cents. Like, he's like, yeah, I bought it from my son for 65 cents. And they're like, yeah, high-fiving each other.
Yeah.
Like, you ripped off your kid.
These two are great.
Oh, God. I hated them. But Dr. One, he's like, I always wanted to send a bat into orbit, which makes Grandpa Bat squeak. And then it's like, oh, it's like he understands us. So the plan is to say, like, I hate this. So Mr. Brubaker has a weird, like, quasi-English accent. He looks like Walt Disney. And then you have the other guy who reminded me of Bruce McCullough from Kids in the Hall. So here we go. So Grandpa Bat not pleased. It's like he understands. So the plan to send him into orbit and see if their equipment can track the bat's radar. Makes no sense, but okay. They're dumb 60s scientists. They're going to send him off tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning. They just got this bat. They're going to send him off tomorrow morning on a Thermo 2. Well, Thermo 2s don't ever come back. Doesn't matter. This bat dies. No big whoop. We'll just get another one. If they get another get a local bat. Why did they have to get a bat in California and fly them across the country? I don't get that.
I don't either.
Yeah, Grandpa started off the morning reading a nice book. Now he's getting ready to go be flown
launched into space.
Yeah,
the
first
Grandpa
bat in
bat
space.
faints. The bat faints. And they're like, have you ever seen a bat faint? No, that's very strange. Oh, I would say it is very strange, very peculiar. Now we get to the whole reason it's in Washington, D.C. A plane is in flight. The Munsters are on their way to D.C. Herman, face pressed against the window. It's his first plane trip, and he's so excited. He's looking out the window. So he's looking out the window. Lily is anxious, but Herman says, chill, enjoy this like me. And then Herman looks back out the exact same window, just had his face pressed against, and he freaks out. The propellers are gone. Now, when he started freaking out, I was like, oh, it's like the Twilight Zone. He's going to see a monster on the wing or something.
Oh, I was so hoping that's what they were going to do.
Nope. The propellers are gone. Like he didn't notice that any time. He's like, Dad, it's okay. It's a jet airplane. That's the only reason. That line right there is the only reason they're in DC, because jet airplanes were relatively new in the 60s, and old passenger planes did have big propellers on them.
Oh, you know what? You're probably right.
That's
I
it.
didn't even think about
That's
that.
the only reason. One of Airdice or Bobbly Below, whatever their names are, they're like, I was on an airplane. There is no propellers. Can you believe it? Let's make a script out of it. And there we go. This is where we're at. Everyone is miffed at Herman because he's so dumb. He was just looking out a window and didn't notice the propellers were gone, and then looked back out and noticed there's no propellers. Herman said it is peculiar. Before the takeoff of the plane was full, but as soon as they got on, they all left. Because the plane is empty, and there's only 14 seats. So not the most efficient way to get people across country.
No.
Like,
also not the most efficient use of space. You're only 4 people. Spread out a bit. Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Give me some room. Everybody gets a window seat if they want.
Get your own damn row.
Yeah, put your legs up.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
the way to fly.
my type of plane ride. Yeah.
They don't even have seatbelts.
Oh,
so just lay down. Do whatever the fuck you want.
I mean, missing out on an opportunity for Herman and Lily to do the Mile High Club. I mean, come on.
Oh, Keith.
Oh, my God.
You're just dragging this down into the gutter instantly. All right. Everybody's miffed at Herman.
Yep.
And he's like, everybody left. And the stewardess hasn't been around the whole flight either. Herman's like, well, she must be new because she's not used to flying. They had to push her onto the plane and slam the door. Nice. Then, like it was just on cue or potentially written in a script, the flight attendant comes scurrying in with a cart. She throws food at the Munsters, like trays of food, and she is very rattled, trembling. And I liked her. She is she is one of my favorite people in this entire episode. She's just like, oh, she doesn't know what to do. Very good actor. Herman's is like, it's okay. If you're worried about the lack of propellers, don't be. It's a jet. It's a jet. Like,
boy. Oh, just like, good job, Herman. He's using the knowledge you learned.
Herman mellows out the whole. She's like, oh, okay. And then just runs. The Munsters, they're like, well, we have to eat on camera at least once. They rip open the lids off their food and they start eating so fast, in fact, that Marilyn's like, Eddie, don't. What did she say? Like, slam your food or whatever. Doesn't matter.
I was too busy being like, holy crap, that's how they used to serve you on plane.
Yes. Back in the day, you used to get a meal.
You got a full all-out meal, like a giant tray of stuff, and now it's like a mini bag of peanuts flight. And
they're in the air for 5 hours or so, 6 probably at the time. And Eddie's just like scarfing down his food. Marilyn's like, slow your roll, kid. He's like, okay. And then we have to see Lily and Herman eating. And Lily's like, well, there's no salt. Herman's like, well, I'll get it. Miss, oh, stewardess. And we need salt. And so she runs up and tosses salt to Herman. Herman doesn't think she has the stuff to make a good stewardess.
Yeah, she like chucks it like straight at him. Yeah.
Yep. I would too. I would just throw it from the back if I had to.
Mm-hmm. Same.
So now we're back at the rocket lab. Bat is still out cold, but Dr. whatever his name is, he put a lady bat in a cage next door to perk him up. And it's all like, you know what I'm saying? Because boys like girls and they're gonna fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
DTF, they're DTF.
Yeah,
Yes.
these bats are DTF. Yeah.
They're like, it'd be good since they're gonna blast off together tomorrow. Get that anxiety out.
Yeah.
Bang it out, you bats. And they're like, oh, that's a good idea. Let's leave them alone. But we'll watch from the other room.
Oh God, I didn't think about that. Ooh.
Oh no! Grandpa wakes
Now
up,
he's bringing this.
and the bats are talking to one another, and they're squeaking, but there's text on the screen. Oh my head, where am I? And then the girl bat goes, in heaven, darling, and I'm going to be your angel.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, they got a sex worker bat.
This bat is DTF. Yeah.
And then Grandpa's like, who are you? Just call me Cleo, baby. This is the actual text on the screen.
It is.
I wrote it down. And then Grandpa goes, get away from me, you old bat.
He's not into it. Yeah.
No. He's like, listen, I can get all the human tang I want. I don't need any bat tang.
Yeah, he's got a rod that finds girls. Right?
Yes. He's got a dividing rod for this.
Exactly. No need for that. Also, why didn't the wolf get text underneath it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's different writer. Whatever. At the lab gate, two guards are talking. Both pretty new. How long you been here? A couple weeks. Me too. I just started. Blah, blah, blah. What's going on in there? All kinds of weird shit. Oh, I bet. Sending crazy stuff into space. What do they look like? I don't even want to see them. Like, I know what's going to happen when they do this. Like, what they look like. Oh God, it's probably terrible. I don't even want to see it. It's probably horrifying, grotesque. The Munsters roll up.
Oh yeah.
They had to rent a car because they couldn't get a taxi. They're like, oh, they must be on strike. Because when Herman hailed them, some abandoned their cars in the middle of the street.
That's the most efficient way to avoid the Munsters while you're in a vehicle. Just jump out. Yeah, don't drive away. Yeah.
Just dive out of your moving vehicle. And this is where we have a clip.
Well, this is the space lab, Pop. But that sign says keep out.
And look at those guards. So fierce looking.
So fierce. They're like two dope-faced
Yes.
20-year-olds.
My gosh, so that's what they're building in there.
Yeah, one of them must have got out.
They must have built it to send to outer space.
Send out? It looks more like something they brought back.
Pardon me.
You'd better get right back in there, mister. Master. Sir. They'll be looking for you.
Inside, in the laboratory?
Right this way, please. We're your friends, you know.
You dog faces are very polite.
Dope faces. Very polite. And then Herman meanders his way in. Yeah. Oh, wait, and Leah says this.
See? I told you. Your uncle can charm the vultures out of the trees when he wants to.
100% ADR because her voice does not match her lips.
Now, I thought when like they pulled up and then the two guys were sitting there, I thought they were going to turn and it was going to be Marilyn walking over there, like, and maybe like, you know, charming them, and they'd just be like, oh, sure, whatever you want, Marilyn. You know, because she, you know, well, they'd have to talk really close to her also.
Yes.
You know, and then the rest of the Munsters would kind of sneak in. And then my second choice was that they would go with the thing that they did, but I was hoping for something a little bit different. But yeah, the two dough-face guys.
Look how nice they are to him.
Oh, they're like, yes, sir.
Oh, come on, buddy.
Master.
Come on inside.
Master.
Yeah.
They call him Master. Like, oh, all hail our ant overlords, right? They're very excited. I think that's my favorite part of this episode is that exchange. And then they exchange with him later on. We'll get there. Herman strolls his way in, very pleased. The look on his face makes that whole scene. He's like, oh, okay. And he just kind of struts in.
Yep.
So then Herman walks into the lab where the doctors are talking. Herman's like, excuse me. But the doctors, they freak the fuck out. And they freak out so much, they back out of a plate glass window. Like they just crash through a window. And then Herman goes, genius. Like he's questioning their intellect, which I enjoyed.
That was funny, yeah.
So Herman sees the bats. There's 2 of them. And he's like, oh, this one must be Grandpa. And he grabs it. But it's not. It's the girl bat.
And I'm suddenly questioning Herman's intellect because there's 2 bats there. How do you know? You didn't even ask anybody. Obviously, one of them is Grandpa. Nope. You'd be like, hey, do a trick if you're Grandpa. But
yes. Or Grandpa fly out of the topless cage and turn back into Grandpa.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Nope, he just grabs the cage that he thinks is Grandpa, but it's the girl bat. It is Cleo. And he heads out. And he goes, you've been very naughty. Grandpa bat squeaks.
Not as naughty as Cleo.
Yes, well, yeah. You're in heaven, baby. Like, she's going to get her rocks off, whether it's with another bat or Herman. She doesn't care. Grandpa bat squeaks, and then we got text for that. Herman, you idiot, come back here. Don't you recognize your own father-in-law? So now all the doctors are sneaking back into the lab, hoping Herman's gone. They're like, well, blah, blah, blah. They're shaking broken glass off themselves. They assume Herman was another doctor's secret project, which makes sense.
Technically, he probably was at one time.
Maybe 100 and something years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, well, one of the bats is gone. But they assume that Herman was from their lab and was programmed to come take him basically as a prank.
So I think he's a robot?
Yeah, I guess.
It's happened before, I guess, yeah.
But they're like, well, the mission must go on. We really need one bat. Let's blast him into space and kill him. And Grandpa Bat goes bonkers and like, oh, it almost feels like he's throwing a tantrum. Now I'm going to show you how smart this bat is. I'm going to get him out and test the radar. And then here comes a whole bunch of, I wrote ADR bonanza here. Gets Grandpa out of the cage. And he's like, watch how bat radar works. I'm going to let him go. He's going to fly towards that wall and evade it gracefully. I'm like, oh, neat. Let's see it happen. And then Grandpa flies directly into the wall, hits it, and falls down to the table.
Don't know why he does that, but it was kind of funny to see the bat just slam into the wall.
I think the reason he did that is because technically the bat is on a wire and can only go one direction.
Yeah.
They're like, well, he's a stupid one.
Yeah.
And then they go to get him, but the bat flies up and out of the room, and they chase him. And they get into the hallway, but guess what? It's just Grandpa standing there. And then Grandpa pulls a Bugs Bunny. Hey, you looking for that bat? They're like, yes, we are. He went that away. And so he sends him off down the hallway, and then Grandpa questions their intellect. Modern science. Grandpa grabs
a cigar.
Grabs a cigar, and he strolls out of the building.
Easy. Almost like he just made 2 pool shots in a row.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. He's strutting his way out.
I was kind of, and this would never happen, but kind of to be like a slaughter at like the lab or something, like vengeance for what happened to him. I mean, this is the Munsters. It's not gonna happen. But I kind of hope he's gonna like get his revenge.
It's like, well, now to teach you all a lesson, he just does like super high speed. Yes. What was that vampire show on HBO? True Blood. Yep. Eric Northman just going like the 100 different bodies ripping their necks out. Grandpa strolls out to the guards again. Same dough-faced boys. Probably saw Herman leave with a bat earlier. Didn't question his motives. Grandpa strolls up to the guards and requests a cab. One of you guys call me a cab to the airport. I was going to fly home today, but, I'll go. goes, I just flew in, and my boy, my arm's tired. So, yep, he's like Dice. Hey, I just flew in, and boy, am I. So they treat him like a VIP. They're like, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And they're thinking that the outfit is, it was like a dig at the Air Force, maybe? Like, well, he is the Air Force. Mm-hmm. Their new outfits are really hoity-toity, I guess.
How much time do we think has passed since Herman walked out with the first one?
6 seconds.
Not long, yeah.
Not long.
Okay. So, again,
they're probably still in the parking lot.
Yeah.
but it's nighttime, so they've gone from being out in California, they've had the whole day go by. It gets the afternoon. He sells the thing, or he trades the thing. The bat, it gets sold. The guy takes it, flies all the way there. The Munsters then book flight, get to the airport, fly all the way there.
Yes.
Oh,
and turn around. And Grandpa is about to get in a cab when, they probably left maybe you can even say they left 5 minutes ahead of him.
Maybe.
And does he never see them again? I'm really, the time of all this stuff really is they drove, he's taking a cab. Even if they get there, are they on 2 separate flights? There's probably only one flight going out right at the same time.
It's like there's a flight every 15 minutes from DC to Los Angeles.
Yeah. It's like
they're on the same flight. Mm-hmm. You'd think they would be. Anyway, Grandpa's like, give me a flight. They're like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then we get the commercial break and we come back for the last segment. Now be prepared, because any moment I could say credits.
Oh, okay.
The Munsters are all yelling at the wrong bat to come out. It's like, come on, you idiot. You're Grandpa. Change back into Grandpa. And they keep calling it Grandpa. They keep yelling at the bat.
Yep.
Now, this is a lot like what you guys had hoped with the wolf episode.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. First thing that popped into mind, I'm like, oh, they did the same thing that, and I bet you somebody was like, man, we probably should have really done that with the wolf. And let's write this one up this way.
So they're all trying to think of ways to get the bat out. And then Grandpa strolls in with his back to the camera, bad stage presence, says, maybe you should give her a piece of cheese. And Herman quickly dismisses and says, it's not a her, it's a him, you fucking moron. We know what we're doing. The Munsters then are like, wait a minute. That sounded like Grandpa. And they all, in unison, look up and see Grandpa. And then Liz like, how can you be there when you're here? So, oh God, if that's you, and this is, then that means what?
Yes.
That happens in every goddamn episode, and it happens again here. And then Grandpa's like, I just flew in from DC, and boy, my arm's tired. He does it again. Herman grabbed the wrong bat, and they were going to send us into orbit. And he says, well, it's nice to have you back, Grandpa. And everyone is glad he's home. And Grandpa says, you're telling me I'm as patriotic as the next fellow, but I was not anxious to be the first bat on the moon.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I know his grandpa doesn't like space stuff, I feel like. The Martians, that really spooked him, so.
Also, they never said they were going to the moon. It was just going to go into space.
Yep, low orbit.
Yeah.
And no credits. Igor flies in the window. Oh, thank God. I am glad we know what happened to Igor. And then it's like everybody says, look, Igor's back. Igor flies into the girl cage. They're like, look, he's really going for Cleo. Yeah. I don't know if they knew the female bat's name was Cleo.
I don't think so.
No, I think that's a slip up.
Yeah. And then Lily goes, I always thought that bat was part wolf.
What?
Yeah.
The line really doesn't. I get what she's trying to say, I guess, but it also doesn't make sense.
That bat's got a dog in him.
Yeah.
No credits there.
No. We gotta keep going.
Goes,
yeah.
Grandpa, what are those bats talking about? Grandpa leans into Herman. It's about time you had a little father and son talk. You know, about the bats, the bees? No credits there.
Nope.
Herman looks very confused. So Grandpa leans in and whispers silently. Herman, surprised look, fade to black, credits.
almost like Herman doesn't know what that is.
Yes. Oh God.
Well, he was created in a lab.
That's true.
Oh my Lord. This was
his son is a wolf man, and neither him or his wife are. So I don't know.
Don't know what's going on.
But the mailman is.
Yeah. Well, no, Herman's got hairy ass hands every once in a while.
Oh yeah, he does every
and
once in a while.
Grandpa's son is a wolf man. So
True.
there's some genes going on there. All right. This roller coaster ride was season 1, episode 20, Bats of a Feather. What'd you guys think?
I actually really enjoyed this episode because it is so nutty.
It's very nutty. I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm.
It goes from the most basic concept of let's bring a pet to school to an animal getting sent into space and mistaken identity.
Yep.
What about you, Terry?
Oh, to me, this feels like one of those episodes where they're really like trying to buy for time to me. Like, it doesn't feel like they have quite enough going on.
No.
Like, we get like long bits with those doctors just talking for forever. Yes. We get the bits with the guards, which I thought the guards were kind of funny, but it was like kind of goes on for a while. It feels like they had an idea and they just kind of like threw stuff in, but just throwing things at the wall, just, and some of it worked, I think, actually, which is nice, but it just feels like it could have fleshed it out a bit more. I don't know.
Could this have been 2 scripts that they had 2 parts of things and they're like, we can't figure out how to make this. Let's just mash them together and we'll get somewhere.
Feel like that. Oh yeah, it's like we got this pet thing and we got taking a lab animal in to send to space. How do we combine those? The dad he works in DC and he takes it to the lab and buys it from his kid for some reason. Yep. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. For me, I have a real problem with this sort of episode because it's like you have things in front of you. The fact that Grandpa turned into a bat to help Eddie at a pet fair is concept enough.
Yes.
But they keep creating and adding weird conflict and twists that just don't make sense. And like, I get it's a sitcom and they're trying to be wacky, but it's like, Jesus Christ, you had an actual premise in front of you. And once again, there's 0 B plot. It is a plot from point 0 to point, n-1. It was, to me, this is an exhausting episode because not a whole lot was very funny. And it's just like, oh God, I wish you would just do something a little more focused.
Yeah.
The ridiculousness level of it is
it's 100% ridiculous.
That's what propels me through the whole thing because I'm like, this is just so odd. And then as we've been sitting here talking about it, I keep thinking more and more about the logistics of the day and flying and back to DC and back. This is more like Herman like warping reality probably to get them back and forth, but like just because it never seems to be the next day. It's still the same day the whole time.
Yes.
School gets out at 2:00, so Eddie's home by 2:30, and suddenly they are on a cross-country trip there and back.
And there's so much about this. It's just like, just constantly, like every time something ridiculous happened, which it felt like it was every time they needed to figure out what to do next. I'm just like, what? Like every time. That's all right.
Yeah. It wasn't so bad, I thought, but it was kind of one of those like middle of the road episodes for me. It's like, there's some good stuff and there's some nasty stuff.
7.6 is lofty, but like anything lower than a 7.2 is too low. I mean, it was fine. It just wasn't particularly good. All right. So what in this hodgepodge of madness broke the babysitter?
The fact that Lily thought she's gonna have to be a daughter of a squirrel.
Yes.
Which she's already established that the squirrel is not her father in the first place.
Yes.
Meaning that there is if we're saying that like maybe some multiverses split off here, there is a point where Grandpa is no longer there at the house and a squirrel is taking his place. It
could 100% be true.
And then, which then means they take a second camping trip to Squirrel Valley Park. Yeah.
Oh yes. Wow. That ties
back.
it all together. Yeah. All we needed was a squirrel to tie the arc of the series. Suddenly makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and that definitely for me, that is, I sat here laughing a bit while you guys continued on with the episode. I had a because it hadn't occurred to me that it hadn't occurred to me the order of when she was like, oh, I'm gonna be the daughter of a squirrel, until that point that no, she's already established the other thing. And it broke me, let alone the babysitter.
Maybe
Fair enough.
Some ancient Transylvanian law, like you trade grandfathers, then that's what happens. I think, but my breaker is like they all leave, but that squirrel is still there, and so I think they hire the babysitter to watch over it, and that's when she learns that it is hyper intelligent, like it's smarter than anything she's ever faced, and it's like a ruthless intellect, and it's like it's like the greatest game is man, and so the squirrel's hunting her because it's so intelligent. It's trying to take her down. And she has
squirrel's hunting her in the backyard.
And that explains why the squirrel's no longer there when they get back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much like Predator, the babysitter's covered in mud, and she's got like TNT set up to explode and blow up the Predator.
You're one ugly son of a bitch.
Squeak, 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 squeak.
Yep. That's awesome. For me, I think she breaks when she finds out that little Brewbreaker kid only got 65 cents for the bet. Yeah, I get it. It's 1964, and 65 cents goes a long way, but this is a goddamn Transylvania bet. You at least get $5.50 for it.
It's big too,
kid.
Yeah,
and
like by the pound.
Struts his damn stuff. Yeah, I ripped off my kid and I brought it to work. Let's launch it into space.
Yes.
I don't get any of that. It's so ridiculous. And the babysitter is on board with me. She's like, pulls out her hair and runs into the corner and just shakes. It's like, no, this makes sense. Oh, right. Babysitter broken. I'm broken. Episode long. And with that, Keith.
Yes, sir.
What do you got going on for the people to be all excited about?
Honestly, I got nothing going right now. It's kind of weird. But if you feel like it, there is plenty of back catalog of both the Pop-Up Filmcast and That Was Great, Wasn't It? Are both out there. And I know That Was Great is we're done with our summer run. We'll be back in the fall. And Pop-Up Filmcast, I do believe, is already done with their summer run. Maybe we got one more left at this point. And but there's plenty of stuff to listen to even when we're not around. So check it out.
Nice. Terry, what about yourself?
I've got another podcast. I had to remember what I was like. Do I have anything? Yes, of course. Run the Reel is the other podcast I do. It's a movie podcast. We talk about movies in specific categories. I think we're on probably blockbusters. I keep saying that, but I think that might be the Kurosawa series still. I don't know. Look, we record a lot of these in advance, but I think we'll probably be either talking about Speed or Point Break by the time this comes out.
Oh, nice. Man.
And then, as for me, I normally would say, I got nothing. But I think it's safe to say that as this episode comes out, be on the lookout for the launch of the official Munster Hunters Patreon.
Ooh, yeah.
Right?
Well, that's exciting. I'm excited
where
for this.
$5 a month helps support us, and we'll create other tangential Munster content.
Yep. If you like all the weird things we reference, we're probably going to end up talking about those at some point.
God. So. Or if you like the way we talk about pickles.
Or that's a whole separate tier.
Whole obscure references to shit that no one remembers except for myself or Keith or even Terry.
It's like dancing around a pool table.
Yes. That's an inside reference that everyone understands, though.
Or even let us know what you want to hear. Yeah, we'll take suggestions too.
Hey, yeah. Look for that. Go to munsterhunters.com, our fancy new website. Check out for the Patreon link. Leave a review, listen to an episode, do all that kind of good stuff. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, I guess is the thing, YouTube, Instagram. We got them all. They're all Munster Hunters.
That's right.
All in a just a blitzkrieg effort to get us to the top of a Google search.
Someday we'll get there.
Someday.
I was going to say we had all of them because it's always hunting season.
It is always hunting season, but I'll be damned if we end on a hunting season, Keith. Because Terry mentioned this.
Oh.
In the Gnome-mobile, we're rolling along in the Gnome-mobile. Oh, what a wonderful way to feel, rolling along in the Gnome-mobile.
In years to come, I can guarantee a dozen grandchildren at your knee.
And every one of them proud to claim Rudy is me middle name.
In the Gnome-mobile, we're rolling along in the Gnome-mobile. Oh, what a wonderful way to feel, rolling along in the Gnome-mobile. In the Gnome-mobile, we're rolling along in the Gnome-mobile. Oh, what a wonderful way to feel, rolling along in the Gnome-mobile.
Oh my.
Are they gnomes or humans, you think? Oh, they're gnomes. They're small.
So here's the question, is that a normal car or a small car? I don't know.
I know that they're red ones. Oh, it's the end! we saw the end of the greatest, most fantastical Disney movie ever! The Munster Hunters are Derek Glascock, Keith Gawla, and Terry Vickroy. Keith is the host of the Pop-Up Filmcast, and that was great, wasn't it? Both shows can be found wherever you subscribe to podcasts. For more about Keith's shows, you can follow Pop-Up Filmcast on Twitter at Pop-Up Filmcast. And that was great, wasn't it? At How Great Was That? You can also follow Keith on Twitter at KG3030. Terry is one of the hosts of Run the Reel. It's a movie podcast that does deep dives on films with a theme. You can follow Run the Reel on Twitter at Run the Reel. You can also follow Terry on Twitter at Terry_Vickroy. If you would like more musings from me, you can follow on Twitter at Derek9 and the word 9. Follow Munster Hunters on Twitter at Munster Hunters and subscribe on your podcatcher of choice for more Munster Hunter fun. Munster Hunters is mixed and edited by me, Derek. All original music is composed and mixed by Terry Vickroy, and executive producers are me and Keith Gawla. The Munster Hunters is a Krispy Dodo production.